The woods were dark and silent. The only sound was the wind rustling through the leaves. A young woman named Emily was walking through the woods. She was lost. She had been hiking with her friends, but she had gotten separated from them. Emily was starting to get scared. She didn't know where she was, and it was getting dark. She decided to keep walking. She hoped that she would find her way back to the trail. After walking for a while, Emily came to a clearing. In the middle of the clearing was a small cabin. Emily was relieved. She thought she could ask for help at the cabin. She walked up to the cabin and knocked on the door. There was no answer. Emily knocked again, louder this time. Still no answer. Emily tried the doorknob. It was unlocked. She opened the door and stepped inside. The cabin was dark and dusty. It looked like it had been abandoned for years. Emily called out, "Hello?" There was no answer. Emily started to feel uneasy. She didn't like being alone in this creepy old cabin. She decided to leave. She turned to go, but then she heard a noise. It was a soft noise, like someone breathing. Emily froze. She held her breath and listened. The noise came again. It was coming from behind her. Emily turned around slowly. She saw a figure standing in the shadows. The figure was tall and thin. It was wearing a long black coat. The figure's face was hidden in the shadows. Emily couldn't see who it was. She was terrified. She didn't know what to do. She started to back away, but the figure stepped forward. The figure was getting closer. Emily could feel the fear rising in her throat. She was about to scream when the figure spoke. "Don't be afraid." The figure said, "I won't hurt you." Emily's heart was pounding. She didn't believe the figure. "Who are you?" she asked. "I'm your friend," the figure said. "I'm here to help you." Emily didn't know what to say. She was still scared, but she was also curious. "How can you help me?" she asked. "I can help you find your way back to the trail," the figure said. "Okay," Emily said. "I'll trust you." The figure smiled. "Follow me," the figure said. The figure turned and walked out of the cabin. Emily followed the figure out of the cabin and into the woods. They walked for a while, and then the figure stopped. "Here we are," the figure said. Emily looked around. They were standing at the edge of the trail. "Thank you," Emily said. "I don't know what I would have done without you." "You're welcome," the figure said. "I'm glad I could help." The figure turned and walked away. Emily watched the figure go. She didn't know who the figure was, but she was grateful for their help. She turned and started walking down the trail. She was finally going home. But as she walked, she couldn't help but think about the figure. Who was it? And why had they helped her? Emily would never forget the night she met the mysterious figure in the woods.